Hello YouTube and welcome to our first range video of the season. Sorry it's been so long, but we've had really bad weather up here in northern New Hampshire. It's been raining, so I had a toss and turn about what we were going to shoot, and it finally settled down to this. Probably one of the guns that needs no introduction, but is going to get one anyways. This is a Springfield Armory Krag, chambered in 3040 Krag, and that's what that looks like. I bought this last year. I absolutely love it, and I want to talk about a couple of the downfalls with it and a couple of the that's about it. So let's take a couple shots. So everyone knows this is a side loading gate. So one of the things that's personally to me is a downfall with this is with modern ammunition. These are the type of bullets. These guns were designed for round nose bullets. So almost think like a Dayquil pill. That's what it kind of looked like. So they do tend to get jammed up a little bit. But yeah, with that being said, that's one of the downfalls. We use more accurate loads and bullet shapes nowadays to get the best result that we're looking for. And that's a downside. Upside is it's a 30, so it's a 30 caliber bullet, and 40 a lot of times is the actual diameter of the shell or grain, depending on when this is what we're talking about. So an example is the 4570 trapdoor, 45 caliber, 70 grains of powder. So with that being said, this one is a model 1899. This one was actually manufactured, if I remember correctly, 1917. So this actually takes modern loads. So that's a good thing. We don't have to use black powder loads. So some of them you do, but a lot of them you don't. So that's a big important thing, is knowing when your firearm was manufactured for, like I said, either if it needs black powder loads or it can take modern smokeless powder, because the smokeless powder burns a lot faster and a lot hotter than your black powder. So, and in some guns that is necessary. So let's take a couple shots and see how it kicks. So we have it on safety. So I already loaded one in. Take care of that in a second. Oops. Let's feed that one in. Put that in the back pocket. All right. So a couple things. I love this gun. Like I said, I bought this as is. I did not put this aftermarket stock on it. I like it a lot, but I also like the actual military look. So in the comments, let me know if I should change it. This does have a peep sight. I'm actually not a big fan of it. I know a lot of people prefer them. I like iron sights better, so I'm going to change that out and put those on. But this thing is, I think it's a very underrated firearm nowadays. A couple things about it is they are rimmed cartridges. One of the reasons why they did that was because of, at the time when these things were manufactured, they were using lever actions very constantly, and they had rims, so it had something to bite onto. So with that being said, we still have rimmed cartridges nowadays. So 7.62x54R are standing for rim. That's the cartridge you see in your Mosin Nagant. There are still some rimmed cartridges out there, but they're not as relevant today. They're much more, I don't want to say exotic, but collector's shooting type of cartridge. These are made by Remington. These are very expensive. I think a box of 20, I think I paid $60 for. So they are expensive, but I stand by this gun. It has the muzzle velocity, this particular cartridge with this setup, peak muzzle velocity is 200 yards. So that's the fastest it's going, is at 200. So that's definitely something to be definitely something to consider, because that's a big thing. So with that being said, I'm going to take one last round, then we're going to go load up again, and we're going to probably put a couple small little targets out. I'm very limited in what I can shoot at this range. It's a great range. I love this place, but they don't want us shooting a lot of food or anything. They don't want to attract animals. This is an open range, so I have been here before shooting. I've seen deer down the lower field, so I definitely get that. So we can't do a whole lot at this present time, but let's just take this last shot, feed it in. All right, so we got this thing reloaded. Got a couple of small little targets out there, so let's get cracking. Okay. Hair off on that one. Hit that one. I missed that one. Let's see if I can get on the last bullet. Nope, missed it. That's okay. So let's go take a look at those. All right, so that was fun. I did miss one. Like I said, I don't have this peep sight tuned in. I'm not a big fan of them personally, but did some decent damage. We were just shooting seltzer, nothing too crazy, but that did a lot of force. Like I said, that was one of the things with this firearm is this. I have no problem take this moose hunting. I would have no problem with that. This will probably be the first gun I take hunting this season. But with that being said, I want to say muzzle velocity, so that's the amount of pressure coming out right at the muzzle. I want to say it's like 2,700 feet per second or something like that. It is a whomping caliber. I think, like I said, it's very underutilized and very underappreciated nowadays. The other thing is this bolt system is like glass. It is the smoothest bolt. I have a high-end, well, moderately high-end 338 Lapua, and the bolt is nothing like this. Granted, this could be just years of wear and use, but this is the smoothest bolt I've ever felt. It really is. It's incredible. But so yeah, so thank you for our very first range video, shooting the Krag Jorgensen made by Springfield. This is an 1899 model. So thank you so much, guys, and